So I got a perfect one, and this one you can tell it now, and then I can edit it. I can edit it.
I
I know which way you gonna tell. You gotta tell the Tupac. You gotta tell the Tupac.
Yeah.
You gotta tell the Tupac story.
So here's the Tupac story. JMD from the Underground Railroad, he met up with Tupac at a nightclub, and they were talking. I think maybe he either his band was there, and why Tupac even talked to him, found even gave him the energy, knowing he's a drummer from a band, whatever, and they exchanged numbers, and Tupac had a studio session in up in Eagle Rock at a famous studio up there where he's recording all this stuff, and in Glendale, it's in Glendale by Griffin Park, and I guess the producer that usually works with him they didn't come down from Oakland. He worked on the MPC, and they had rented an MPC for him to start this record he wanted to do, and the guy didn't show up, so they needed somebody that could work at MPC. So I guess Tupac told his manager, I know a guy in L.A. here I met, I guess, the other night that maybe might know somebody that worked on MPC. So they called JMD, and JMD said, I know a dude named Fat Jack who can work MPC and do just what you need. So they called my manager. My manager called me and said, yo, I'm coming to get you. You're going to work with Tupac, the kid from that movie Juice. This was just did the movie Juice. Yeah, and at the time, this was a Thug Life album. So I get to the studio, and Tupac's in there, and the engineer, and he's like, yo, I want to sample this Ozzy Brothers song. He played me the Ozzy Brothers song he wanted to sample, and what part of it he wanted to sample. I said, okay. So I got on the drum machine, chopped that shit up, and they were just talking while I did it, hooked it up, made it loop, put some drums in it, and he was like, yeah, okay, that's what I wanted. So they tracked it, they two-tracked it. I guess he said we separate it later. So he two-tracked it, and he went in the booth. He listened to it one time, smoked a blunt, let it play back again. He did the vocals, one take, bam, knocked the whole song out. Went back, another take, did the double. He doubled his vocals up, and then he went another track, did some ad-libs. Then that's when all the Thug Life artists started coming into the room, and he was like, oh man, yeah, he never really talked to me that much. He very just to the point what he wanted. The music never really vibed with me, and he was kind of like off to his own thing and really just dealt with the engineer till all the Thug Life guys came in. Then he got turned into Tupac. Yeah, nigga, oh, listen to this shit. Blah, blah, blah. And only one of the dudes paid attention that I was sitting there, and I think that's he's the oldest member from I can't remember his name, but he was the one that made singles himself. I think his video was on a motorcycle or something. He sat next to me and said, you did that beat, homie? I said, he said, that shit is dope. He gave me a hand pound. He's like, all right. He was the only one that talked to me. That's something like I wasn't even in the room. And then when I got up, them niggas was smoking weed and stuff, and I wanted to smoke because I didn't have no weed. My manager went to the store, left for a minute. So in Tupac, I walked up to him like, nigga, I knew it was a nigga out there on the basketball court that was selling weed. And I was like, I needed some money. So I was like, so I just went up to Tupac, and he just looked at me like, I guess you ready to get paid or something, like, what's up, what you need? And I was like, man, you can just give me $200. You know, I figured that was reasonable for an industry type nigga, which not even knowing that my manager was supposed to have him sign the paperwork that I did the beat, and he go to the label, and I was supposed to get $7,000 that day. But because I took the $200 from Tupac and he said we good, I was paid for producer for hire and not producer. I quite took my name right off the album. That was like that. Not knowing, my manager had a fit when he came back and found out I took $200 from Tupac. He said, you just fucked up us tore the paper in half. They was about to have him sign and say, you just fucked us off $7,000 and your producer's credits for this record. You just did work for hire, and that's when I learned what that is. And I walked out of there feeling stupid. I started working on heavy stuff after that. That was one of my first professional sessions that I learned a big lesson from. And later on, that record went gold, and I wanted my credit just to get me a record, like a gold record, but everybody that was in the session to prove I did that beat was dead. Everybody that was there was dead. Even the engineer was dead. So I had nobody to prove that I did the beat because some other producer came in and finished the song, and he's the one that claimed that he did it because I had a lawyer go after that one time. They said this other guy claimed he did the song, and they had no knowledge of you being in the studio, and that's because it was finished in Oakland somewhere else. They weren't there. Everybody who was there in L.A. is dead. So who was there to say I did it? I found out later on, this is a still open case. His manager is still alive. That called my manager to set up the deal. So, but there was never no communication of why my manager never got with him to get me paid. I think Tupac might have told him, man, the dumbass nigga took $200, so we good. He saved himself some money on his budget. Maybe Tupac was that knowledge, or maybe he wasn't. I don't know. He had pulled out a wad of money. He had money. He said, 200 ain't shit. That's all you want? Basically, that's how he paid me. Like, that's all you want? Like, yeah, and I'm thinking, shit, I'm used to getting $50 a beat, $60 a beat from the hood niggas. I thought that was a big payday for not being professional yet, but basically, I'm still trying to get my gold record plaque for doing that, working on that project. His manager, how I found out was from watching the Tupac movie, that guy is still alive. That was his manager in the movie. He turns out he manages Lonzo from the record crew to this day, whatever business fairs he got. And I have yet set up a meeting with Lonzo, who I have a good relationship with over the years. He's one of my first bosses. And I was going to tell Lonzo the story and see if he can work it out for him to give the okay to the people that have to have the proof that before they send you a plaque, that you actually were part of that. I need him to back that up, for me. That's all I want. I need Lonzo to tell him, I'm not looking for any money. I already know how the pay went. I just want my recognition of Tupac album that I had something to do with. Still trying to work that out right now.
Dope.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to end it right there.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Fat.
Well.